Hello, lovelies. This is Arielle from the Tree of Life Tarot. I hope that this time it will work. This is a reading for Prince Harry and how is the future looking at for him. I did pull some cards, I did make the reading, but obviously the recording was with no audio. So I'm doing it again. I won't be pulling new cards for the same reading because I've already pulled the cards, so I'll just walk you through all the cards here. Now, the card for him is the Four of Cups. It came out reversed. And I'll show you how the cards ended up like this in the reading for AFD and how is the future of AFD during this pandemic look like. But the Four of Cups came as reversed. So the Four of Cups is the card for, let's say, undecided people. When you have it reversed, somebody has already made a decision that is usually it's a decision to act. It's a decision to act. Now, what the decision is about? It's about the Seven of Wands, and that is the future that he's striving towards, the future that he wants to have. The Seven of Wands, is about, let's say, a man standing his ground and fending off from enemies. Now, if you reverse it, I would say that this is about the rug being pulled off from your feet that way. He's looking for how can I say manifestation of his plans. At the same time, he's not firmly rooted. So he wants something, but he's not getting it. That's how it is. Now the Death showed up as a second card for his future. Usually I don't, first of all, I don't pull more than one card for the future, but those two just came out at the same time. And the Death reversed is about him, let's say, turning a new chapter in his life, moving on from something. And from what I got was he's moving on from some form of addiction. That could be an addiction that is the way I see, well, there's different types of addictions. It could be some, let's say, mental addictions that are, let's say, addicted to being praised, to being in the limelight, to being loved. And a lot of people do crazy and stupid things to receive those things that they feel they lack and they're addicted to. It could be also some form of like substance addiction. It may be drugs or alcohol, but it could be something that is not so obvious, like sweets, sugar, salt, junk food, things that are really not good for you. Addiction in the general sense is something that you're striving towards as a means to avoid meeting with your fears, with yourself. So this is the type of card that I saw here in the Death. The Death reversed could mean a lot of things, but this is what I saw for him. Now this is because things are really bleak here in the entire reading. I had only, I think there was only one card that was not reversed, and that was the King of Cups. So let me talk about the King of Cups a little bit. This card came at the bottom of the pack. So when a card comes at the bottom of the pack, this is the person or the thing that you are not accounting for, but has a huge impact on the situation. And the King of Cups is a man who has an open heart, a loving heart. So usually also an older man, older man in his family. There are many, you know, that we know of, but in this case, I sensed it as his brother. His brother is loving towards him, so his brother has not forgotten him. And I look into Prince Harry's ties with the family at this situation. After I search for an answer whether he's angling for a reality TV show, because that would be a huge vanity project, and really it comes off really strongly from these cards for the future. And I walk through them over and over again. Now this is again his brother. His brother is loving towards him and has definitely not forgotten him. Now the Emperor reversed. The Emperor reversed showed up as a support, as a resource for Prince Harry. What does that mean? The Emperor is the card of tradition, traditional values, traditional family. What I'm sensing here is that in his heart, he wants to have this traditional, normal man's life. Well, not normal man's life, but to be the traditional stereotypical man. A man meets a woman, gets married, they have children, white picket fence, and to do something for the world, let's say. The reversed card really, it's saying that, and there's a lot of let's say hopes and dreams that didn't come true or are not going to come true in this reading, because what I'm seeing here is that it's not a bad thing to want those things in your life, to have those traditional values, dreams of a traditional family in your life. One way or another, this will show up, this will materialize. But in his case, in his situation, he is not an ordinary man. And his life is not a, let's say, two parents that love each other till old age. Him finding the great love of his life and starting a family and everything being, all rosy and happily ever after and riding into the sunset type of thing. No, his life is different. His life is, I would say, extraordinary and not an ordinary, as opposed to ordinary life. And that's what he needs to embrace. He can still have those traditional values and hope for a traditional life, but he needs to live those values through the prism of not having an ordinary life. And that's what he needs to realize. That's what his strength is at the moment. Now let's take a look at the career, because and this is where the reality show type of Kardashians or something of a power couple project that he's trying to portray is falling apart, really, because the two of wands, when it's not reversed, is really about how a man, a noble man, standing at the highest viewpoint of his tower and looking at the sea and waiting for his ships to come. And in the old age, around the time when the cars were created, the tarot cards were created, the rich people, and I do know that for a fact because it did come up in one of my own um, past life regressions. So in that time, the rich people, what they did, they were rich enough to build ships, hire crew, and send those ships to either pirate the seas, or go trade with Far East countries. And when they're back, they bring some goods to sell, and when they're back with valuable goods that they can profit off, the rich noblemen. And really, what was the anxious time for those noblemen? This is really where the card is inspired from. Um, when they expect, with the time of the ship is expected to come, if the seas were good and there was no storms and nothing was lost around the way, because this was a risky business. It was very lucrative but very risky, because if you lose a ship, you lose, they didn't care about the crew, but you lose the goods on the ship, and that was a big issue. So when the time comes, when the day for the launch comes, and I'm bringing this home with modern age vocabulary here. When the time comes for the launch, or for the ships to come home, they stand on the fence and they wait for them to come. They wait for the ships to come. When you have it reversed, we have the Two of Wands is about money. So this is money problems, but it also means plans not materialized, plans being blocked. Now it showed up as an emerging future. Emerging future, this is what in family constellations is referred to as the things that are coming to you whether you want it or not, and the things that are outside of your control. So what I got here is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is somebody who is a fence sitter. As a future that comes to him, a future that is really outside of his hands. It's about, again, another blockage, another thing that the future is withholding the goods from him. Things are not going according to his plans, even though he planned a lot. This is a card that I drew for the pandemic, and I was expecting to see something more like the world, or something like the Judgment card, something more global. But the pandemic for him, the way the pandemic of COVID-19 is affecting him, is his family. So this is the card of dysfunctional family. And sometimes it also shows us somebody who is crazy in the family, like legit crazy. I'm not going to say that this is, let's say, in his current family with Meghan Markle, or in his family of origin, which is the royal family. But there is a lot of dysfunction. I also see narcissism here, as very often when I see that. And sometimes, in order to survive that, you need to pretend to be crazy, like literally to pretend to be crazy. This card, even though it's not that connected to his future, but somebody in his family is let me say it in a different way. The dysfunction in his family is going to show up, even in the press. That's really what it's about, and that's out of his control. It's out of his control, and it's coming. Now, I pulled a few cards about his love life in the moment, and right now he's a married man. So, when for a married man, a love reading uh, would mean that it's about him and his wife, unless we get the of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles in a love reading for a married man means a mistress. Usually I interpret the Nine of Pentacles in a completely different way, but for a love reading for a married man, it really means a mistress. Here though, I pulled one card. I pulled the Empress and it showed up as reversed. So I really wanted to have a clarification, and the clarification was the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So let me walk you through those cards. So the Empress reversed is about a woman in his life who is past her childbearing age. She can no longer unequivocally have a child. She cannot do that. It also could mean a woman who's highly manipulative, but in highly manipulative, I mean in a mean manipulative way. That is in his life, and that could also most definitely could mean the wife, Meghan Markle. It could also mean, and I'm saying this because this is the reason I put the clarification card. Could also mean it could also mean that we have plans for pregnancy. Let me put it this way: plans for pregnancy or hope for pregnancy. And since this is in the future love position, so in the future it means that when it comes, so if it comes straightforward, you're either already pregnant or you're about to get pregnant. But when it comes reversed, that means pregnancy is blocked. And when pregnancy is blocked, I would highly recommend to stop any procedures, any attempts at getting pregnant for 9 months to a year, for the duration of a full pregnancy, for 9 months to a year. Because first of all, it will be futile, because that's a blocked energy and it's a major arcana. So that really means it's not gonna happen. And also it will just really lead to a heartbreak. So with those three different types of interpretations of that card, all three of them could very well be valid about Meghan Markle. And this is the wife that shows up here. Simply because there's a lot of rumors that really fit that card about her. So that's why I put the seven of the clarification card for this card, and that was the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles reversed. Seven of Pentacles is about strangely, it's about family, understanding of family, not the dysfunctional type that he already has, but the understanding of family, what the family is about. And this is really about a man who is ready to reap the benefits of his work, of his life's work. When you have it reversed, it's a clue about the Empress and which one of the three interpretations we have here. So the reverse Seven of Pentacles is really, especially in love, is about being too slow and materialistic, and really not having a good idea about what family is about. Being unrealistic. Sometimes this card could show that we have a man who, and especially with the Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Emperor reversed, who had a really bad example about good relationships in his life. And as a result, and that's also true for children of divorced parents, especially in an earlier age. They have these fantasies about what relationships should look like. Of course, the how relationships should look like is obviously something that is completely opposite of their parents. They're very traditional in their beliefs, even though they come from a very non-traditional way of family, from the stereotypical point of view. Right now, there's a lot of children that go through um, a divorced parents situation, but we now have a lot more understanding how to do it the right way, let's put it this way. And those children, they grow up with these fantasies, dreams about what a relationship should look like. And he's now getting the idea that this is not what he's into. He's into the type of woman, let's say, in his family. I'll say it in a different way. In his family, that's something, clues to that really will show up in the press, that I'm 100% sure. But his family is dysfunctional. And the dysfunction is that there is a lot of manipulation. So we all know that the royal families, in order for them to be darlings of the people, they need to manipulate the people. That's really in their job description. And that's not from today or from yesterday, it's for millennia or more. But in his family, there's also manipulation of the members of the family, the members in his family. There's a lot of I'll just leave it at manipulation. He did not like that at all. He was so against it, so against that manipulation, that he vowed that in his life, in his personal life, he will not have that. He will just not have it. The problem is, the more you're against something in your family, the more you're not embracing it as part of your non-traditional upbringing, the more you receive it as a sign, as a partner in your life, and usually a spouse. So the interpretation here is we have a waking up in his life from the manipulation, and in a way the death reversed, moving on, turning a new chapter, realizing some type of addiction in his life. It could really mean that the addiction that he has is towards one of his parents. And again, I'm not going to make both claims, but one of his parents was highly manipulative, if not both, but one for sure, 100% sure. And he was so against that parent that this was his way of connecting to that parent. This was his addiction. And this is really what the COVID-19 pandemic is going to bring for Prince Harry. It's going to bring the realization that the manipulative way in which he was brought up is really how he's connecting to his family. And the more he does not like the manipulations inside the family, the more he will be seeing that is in his life partner. And also he's starting to wake up from the unrealistic expectations about the woman that he will be with, the woman he is with. So that is really it. I'll just pull from this reading a card for him for advice. The world reversed is really stay in quarantine, don't go out, don't do I'm sorry for the language, but don't do stupid pub walks to raise your profile. Now is not the time. Stay at home. um, and really what's coming to me is that stay home because LA is going to be hit really hard soon. So that's for Prince Harry right now, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully without any technical difficulties. Talk to you soon. Bye.